We're joined on the phone today by Ahmet Zappa, the son of the late great Frank Zappa, also the host of the new show Rock My Collection on AXS TV. Hey Ahmet, how you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I am excellent. Thank you so much for being on with me today.
Oh, my pleasure.
Well, I know you've got a new show, Rock My Collection. Can you tell the listeners a bit about it?
I would like to. Absolutely. So, new show, as you were saying, called Rock My Collection. And I feel like it's a real privilege. I was not expecting to have such a good time making this show, but it really was an emotional, very satisfying experience because I'm a collector of different kinds of memorabilia. Music is a big part of my life, and when you have the opportunity to interview people like we do on the show, that are super passionate about their musical memorabilia, items that they've collected, you sometimes forget that people go to extreme measures to get an autograph or extreme measures to acquire a certain piece of history because they love that musician so much. And I really can relate to that. So I had these fabulous conversations with people, and the fun of our show is guests come on, we get to help them if they need it, authenticate a signature or establish the provenance of a certain item. And in some cases, unfortunately, we tell people like, actually, that's not really real. That's always a bummer. And then they're always interested in how much their items might appraise for, and we provide that information to them. And should they desire to sell that piece of music history, we help them do that. And we've had definitely people that are starting their own music memorabilia collection because they've acquired items from the show that we've showcased. And then a lot of people, which I understand, there's no way that they would ever sell any of that memorabilia. It's too personal. So again, it's great to spend some time with people who care so much about music.
Awesome. And the show is on Sundays, 7 o'clock Central Time, p.m. on AXS TV. And I like that you cover all sorts of different genres of music as well. I mean, you've got a lot of the old, like Grand Ole Opry stuff and, heavy metal and just about everything in between.
Yeah, and look, I'm not necessarily the biggest country music fan or hip hop fan, but I learned a lot certainly on the show, and I respect everyone's opinions and their passion for the music, and another aspect of why I am so grateful for the opportunity to do the show is we get a sneak peek into the world of some of music's biggest luminaries, right? We've had legends on our show, people I am absolutely I rock their music in my collection on a daily basis. So folks like Alice Cooper or Nancy Wilson from Heart, Gavin Rossdale. We have musical celebrities that come on, and some of the highlights, Linda Perry, she's a musician and a fabulous human being, and on top of that, an extraordinary music producer. So a lot of the ways that people would join us on the show is through the power of technology, right? They would video in from their homes, and you get a sneak peek into their world, and then they were showing off their pieces of their own collection, music memorabilia that makes that's important to them. And we do this segment that makes me laugh, where we ask these individuals to do instant memorabilia, where we thought, hey, can you sign like a juice box or something? But our celebrity guests were overly generous, so they were signing guitars and stage worn pieces of apparel, or they're just again great to have them on the show. The stories that they told, I was just just in heaven. I really, really enjoyed it, and I think we didn't take ourselves too seriously on the show. I think that comes through. We had a lot of fun, and I do hope people tune in.
Yeah, I think that was one of my favorite parts of the show. Nancy Wilson and Todd Rundgren, and Alice Cooper, of course. He's got a lot of history with the Zappa family. That was cool to see him on there as well.
Yeah, he's Uncle Alice. Just a good person. Just who. Alice Cooper, if he's not your cup of tea, I totally get it. But for me, I love his music. I love the stage show. He's just so cool. So he was really funny on the show.
Rock My Collection is on 7 p.m. Central Time on AXS TV, and you mentioned the appraiser on there, and I imagine it's got to be hard to put a price on some of these items, considering the uniqueness, weirdness of some of these items, especially the woman who had the Elvis collection. There's some strange stuff in there for sure.
Oh, don't even get me started. I mean, yeah, it's all walks of life that come on. I mean, God bless you. You have someone who really, really loves Elvis to the point to where they, I'm sure, paid a small fortune or a rather large fortune to acquire Elvis's work. So, yeah, that grossed me out. That's not something I want, but to her, super important piece.
Well, and I see the viewers actually have a chance to bid on some of the items. How does that work exactly? I don't know if I've ever heard of a show that's quite that interactive.
Well, we have a partnership with a online auction, and during the show we tell you where you need to go if you want to bid on any of the items that we might showcase on the show. I mean, it's not like it's too. It's not like like we're building some giant tech company. We through our partnerships, we try to do first and foremost a really great job for our guests when they want to have information around their items. Obviously, hearing their stories, but Stephen Braitman, who is super knowledgeable at what some of these things might sell at auction. Or what you should get them insured for, because that's pretty important. If you have a piece of history, you want to make sure that should anything happen to it, you can get your money's worth, I suppose. Yeah, he's great. I mean, I've used him. I work pretty hard on our family business. So when we need to know what some of the assets in our vault, our film library, as an example, Stephen was really helpful for us in getting the proper appraisal for the value, so that we can get it insured to make sure that nothing should ever happen to the video assets, as an example. So he's again a very knowledgeable human being.
Excellent. And I know Rock My Collection is on right now, but Ahmet, is there anything else maybe you're working on? I know you've made movies and written books, just about everything you can think of. Is there anything in the works for you right now besides the Rock My Collection?
Yeah, working on a ton of new animated shows. I love me some animation. I think mostly because my father made this great movie called The Amazing Mr. Bickford when I was a kid. So I got to see all that claymation, all the actual characters themselves, and some of the best animation I think that has ever been made. And so that's always been a passion of mine. And yeah, we have a bunch of new shows that will be coming out next year. It takes a long time to kind of get these things animated and done. And I have a new book that's coming out next year. So all good. A follow-up to, I wrote a book called Because I'm Your Dad. I have a follow-up to that called Because I'm Your Mom. So, excited about that.
Excellent, definitely. And I know you're in charge, as you mentioned, of the Frank Zappa estate. Is there anything coming up from the estate maybe we should watch out for, like a new release or, projects maybe from the vault?
Oh yeah. Oh, see, I would love to tell you what that stuff is, but I don't think I'm ready to share just how much new awesomeness is coming out. I mean, we tend to do 3 to 4 releases a year, and it's like being Indiana Jones. You go into the vault, and you're an audio archaeologist putting these projects together. So we have some honestly amazing box sets coming out. We try to be forward thinking enough, so we put a whole schedule together, and we really listen to the fan base and see what they're interested in, and we try to be completists. So like my mother and father never really threw anything away, so we have I guess what would be memorabilia to other folks. I've seen some pretty interesting things come by on the show, or seen things at auction that people really care about, from like original contracts to driver's licenses to, you name it, depending on, who it is. Somebody seems to really want it. But for us, we use a lot of that in our packaging. So, we like every fan letter, like we kept it all. So it's pretty fun working on these projects.
Yeah, that's
Anyone
awesome.
who's picked up a box set that we've put out in the recent history probably knows, if you're buying the physical products versus downloading them, we put a lot of time and energy into the packaging and the storytelling and the photographs and all of the ephemera of that era. So it always kind of looks right and smells right and sounds great.
Here in Minnesota, we always talk about Prince and his vault, and I think your dad probably is the only person who maybe rivals that as far as, probably what's been released and what's yet to come. So that's great that you're taking so much care in that.
As a massive Prince fan and someone who knows a thing or two about vaults, I got to say that, I think Prince and Frank were probably neck and neck in terms of output in their lives, just always recording, and they were so musical. Prince was a genius.
Well, again, the new show, Rock My Collection, is on AXS TV on Sunday nights. Again, thank you so much for your time. I'm a big fan, and the show looks great, and hopefully it continues on here. And again, I hope to speak with you again sometime.
Thank you for having me on the show. I appreciate it.
And again, that was Ahmet Zappa, son of the late, great Frank Zappa, and the host of the show Rock My Collection on AXS TV, Sunday night, 7 o'clock Central Time.